Froggy 99.9 plays the most country. It's Ben Merritt. It's Ben Talkin, and I got Demun Jones in studio. Demun, how are you, man?
I'm amazing. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty darn good. I grabbed Demun when he was in town for the Brantley Gilbert show at Shields Arena, and show hasn't happened yet, technically, but I know it's going to be an awesome show.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, because I've been following Demun for a few years now. Demun and I have actually talked before. Back in 2014, the old days.
My first album.
Yeah, back when, was that really your first album?
It was my first solo album, Jones County, yeah.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yep,
all right.
It was.
Wow, because I just picked you up. I think I was following like the Lax and the Moonshine Bandits, you know, those other country rap bands that are out there. And I think you were on a feature on one of their things, and I had to come grab you or something like that because I was impressed.
Yeah, I was on a bunch of their stuff, a bunch of the early country rap stuff, Georgia Boys, Colt Ford, Lax, Smo, Charlie Farley, and myself. I think those were probably the first. Not in that particular order,
right?
But I knew all those guys beforehand anyway. You know, just from grinding it out and trying to figure it all out. And we're all kind of from the same,
background,
the same roots, and
exactly.
Even like me, Colt, and the Lax are all from Georgia.
Yeah,
and I knew all those guys before the public knew them. I knew them. You know, so it's pretty natural, pretty easy, and so I started to be included in that. And as people started to hear, like, oh, okay, he's got his thing dialed in here.
Right.
And then when my album came out, I feel like it was pretty well received. I mean, I think it was number 30 on the country.
That's pretty good.
Billboard.
Yeah, that's pretty good for an independent, first timer.
Yeah. Well, I was with Average Joe's at the time, which is still a small independent label, but that's the same label as Colt.
Right.
Really everyone but Smo at the time.
Okay.
It was Colt and the Lax and Charlie Farley and myself, and they had Rehab at the time. They had Brantley Gilbert at first. So I was on the playground with my friends, basically.
Which is the best place to kind of grow up, right?
For sure.
Around the guys that also develop their own sound, but it's around the same tempo and feeling as yours.
Right, and I think a lot of, if you're not into country rap, you wouldn't know it, but country rap is a pretty diverse genre. Like there's some stuff that sounds like a Toby Keith country song with rap to it. Some stuff sounds like almost like intense gangster rap with country topics, and my stuff has always been focused on the energy that it puts off. I really put a lot into it. I don't just like say whatever. And then the live performance is a whole nother level. I feel like if the people like the album, then they should love the live performance. So that's been my focus always, is to, I don't go in the studio and do a lot of studio tricks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you can't do it in live, then you don't want to put it on the album.
I don't have anything on my records that I can't pull off in front of you,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of artists that do rely on studio tricks, so it's good to see somebody who's not.
Maybe I'm hard-headed. Maybe I've been doing it a while. Maybe I need to steer in a few of those tricks.
Maybe at least one album. Give it a shot on one album, see how that goes.
Where I think it's pretty common knowledge now. Everyone tunes their vocals.
Right.
I mean, Miranda Lambert.
Right.
Adele, Drake, and Demun Jones. Like if I sing,
same level, man.
I'm not going to be perfect.
Right.
And I'll be close. Kid Rock, everyone tunes their vocals, period. Morgan Wallen, everyone. The top 10 songs, every one of them's tuned their vocals.
As long as you can get close when you're doing live. That's all we really care about.
And I do. And even if I don't, I'm still going to keep going and rock it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But like I said, you've been out there doing it. You've been hustling. As a matter of fact, pretty much the entire time that I've been with you today, you've been answering emails and paying invoices. Like that independent artist lifestyle, man, that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, to me, I'd like to say it's normal, but sometimes it occurs to me like, is this normal?
Should I get a guy? Should I get a guy? Yeah.
Well, no, I have a manager and I have a distributor and all this, but I never sat back and waited for to be endorsed or anything like that. I understood what it took. And so I hit the road with my music and my merchandise, and I went out there. And even if you don't have to be a household name to make a living, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes.
You got to work.
And I knew that my music was good. I knew that for a fact. And I knew that my performance was good for a fact. And so I was always confident where if you put me on the stage anywhere, there's going to be somebody in there I'm going to get, and I'm going to reach, and they're going to catch it.
Awesome.
So, and that's been the case.
And obviously it shows, because you mentioned him earlier, Jelly Roll, doing the same thing.
Oh, he's killing it.
And look at him now. He's got Grammy nominations. He's got CMT awards. He's got CMAs, ACMs.
God bless him, man. I've known him a while, man. I've known him a while. I mean, the song me and him did, we recorded it in 2015. So, I mean, I've known him a decade or more. And, from being in the independent lane and grinding down the streets, you tend to run into the same people. Just like if, football players know other football players. And so, honored to have him on a song. I really wish I knew that he could sing like that, and maybe I wouldn't have did Bucket Like a Bronco. I would have did Somebody Save Me.
You would have been on that one.
Jelly, sing for me, baby.
But yeah, it's but it goes to show that it just takes perseverance, hard work, getting out there and being noticed, and maybe you're 6 to 8 months, 10 months, 2 more years, whatever it is down the line from getting your big come up too.
Yeah, I don't focus on that necessarily, but yes, I have seen it happen so many times around me, really close to me, with people. I was close to Bubba way back in the day.
Oh yeah, Bubba Sparks.
Yep. He took off. And I've seen it happen for Jelly. I've seen it happen for Church. Me and Church were pretty close when his stuff really started taking off. So I just feel like the long effort, consistent in the same direction is what makes the difference. And whatever is supposed to come my way will come my way, because I don't burn bridges. I don't step on people. And my music is not filthy. I really try to reflect whatever I'm compelled, what's in me, what I mean, and what my life experience is. And I know when I'm speaking, if I'm talking about mud bogging or hunting, or if I'm talking about my family, or if I'm talking about God, or if I'm talking about whatever, I know that I'm not speaking just for myself. An artist's job in my mind is a service job, and your job is to put life into words the way that others cannot, and that way you speak for them and remind them to be excited about who they are, to be grateful, and to you know what I'm saying, have a sense of pride in just being alive and enjoying yourself. Yeah,
and one thing that you mentioned there goes for both country and rap, I think, is just being honest, because
correct.
Rap hates haters, country folk hate fake people.
Yeah.
So you're right in that middle lane for both of those, and it's perfect, I think.
Well, I grew up surrounded with hayfields, and I still live built my house in one of those hayfields, and surrounded, laying bricks with my dad, playing with my brothers, catching bullfrogs, running through the woods barefooted until I was probably 13.
Sounds like a lot of people's normal background around these parts. Yeah, but
I had an affinity for hip hop music. It was it was not the mainstream thing, and my brother loved the old school rock and Black Sabbath and Johnny. I was loving Johnny Cash, but then I loved LL Cool J and NWA, and I loved their storytelling. It was almost like watching a movie with your ears.
Yeah,
and so it took me some time to find my voice, but. I have some pictures I can paint as well, and that's what I do. I'm just painting pictures.
Right, and a lot of your songs do that. We were just talking about Backyard Lullaby, songs like that on your discography. You were saying didn't even like it when you first wrote it, and then it kind of grew on you, and it became this thing.
Well, more than grew on me, it's just I wrote it when I was making my first album, and most of those songs are like Boondocks, Dixie Dimes, Country Fried, Raw, Tina Wright, like intense, raw. I mean, crazy intense songs. And then I wrote this,
right,
and it was like, this doesn't feel right.
A little bit more mellow than the rest of it.
I'm the intense. I'm Demun Jones. I'm the energy ball of energy. And so I did not even put it on the first album, and I put it at the end of the second album. And then when the album came out, I got a video with Jelly Roll. I got My Town. I got song Suge. I got this song with Colt Ford. This song with Smo when he was popping off.
Right.
And then the Backyard Lullaby song that I didn't like, that my wife and my baby girls that were probably 6 and 7 at the time said, "Daddy, that's the one."
That's
and
the
I'm
one.
Like, I don't hear it. And sure enough,
good thing you listened to
that song, the streams. I got the first report of the first quarter of like what's playing, what's doing, because there was no video for that song until late 2017. I think May of 2017. The album came out in early 2016.
Yeah,
and the song was just smashing. everything.
So you wrote that one probably 2013, 2014?
2013.
Yeah. So it took almost half a decade for you to come to a full realization of what that song.
And it's a gold record.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gold record.
That's crazy.
It's the only gold record on that album.
It's not the only one you got, though.
No, Feeling Good is gold. And those two are in the process of being certified, but I know what the numbers are. They're past the threshold.
Right.
But Campfire Cologne has been certified gold.
Nice.
Recently, with me and Upchurch, and I just hadn't got the plaque yet. So I have 3. What's so funny is Campfire Cologne, March 2017, Backyard Lullaby, May 2017, Feeling Good, November 2017.
2017 was a big year for you.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going on, right? I was just dropping music.
There you go.
But then I got on the radar, I think, of YouTube, and they put a little throttle on me.
Little asterisk next to him, but it still gets through because your social media presence and, again, being independent like that, a lot of it comes through just word of mouth as well, too. Like, your fans just tell other people, like, man, I love this guy. I think you're going to love him as well.
Yeah. I've taken each show at a time. I've always felt like the marketing and publicity and all that is great. And a lot of it is, articles or someone else's opinion or whatever. And all of that is very important to the public eye. But to me, what's important, because I have to do what's in me to do. Mm-hmm. And what's in me to do is no matter what's going on with all that, no matter what's being said on Facebook, no matter what's in the headline, I'm going to show up for my show. Mm-hmm. If there's 100 people, if there's 1,400 people, I'm going to give them everything I have in the tank that night, and that has been what I had faith in, that if I did that I would continue to progress, and I have. I mean, the numbers say that I have, and there's ebb and flows, there's ups and downs throughout the year, and this year's a little slower than last year by 10,000 streams or something, but I only dropped 2 videos,
right?
Where some years I'll drop 14 videos,
right?
Where it's clear, but that was my choice.
There's no panic, when you've got something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not in a rush. I don't have a plan B. This is what I do. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of stuff I got a lot of miles left in me. I don't think I've done my best work. I'm sure that I haven't. Even this, and also, this is a radio station and you're having me in, since we're not all the way mainstream, our genre is not, it's not an official category, and maybe it will never be, you know what I mean? I don't know. But if it ever does become a category, I know that the work that I do will impact others. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other artists out there that are talented that will make it. And if when they look back, they said, Colt, Smo, Lax, Demun, Georgia Boys, mm-hmm. Adam, Church, all these people, if they wouldn't have fought through not having all this,
right,
we would never have had it, and I'm honored to know that I was a part of the foundation of something where a lot of people make a living, right. a lot of people sing our songs, wear our shirts.
I mean, I have a connection with Cowboy Troy, and even he put down some of the groundwork as well too. Working
absolutely
with Big and Rich.
I got a show with them coming up. Actually.
Oh, do you?
Big and Rich.
Awesome.
Jamie. Is it Jamie Johnson? No, it's Big and Rich. Ted Nugent. Who else? 3 Doors Down.
There you go. Yeah.
In May.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's going back to your mason work, the foundation's got to be laid somewhere. The bricks have got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe it might not be world changing. It might not be like a whole exhibit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where it's just like the start of country rap.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Hey, if a couple people can make it a living, because you were able to, and guys like Upchurch and Adam Calhoun and Colt Ford started everything as well too.
That's right. And they did it when it was not, especially Colt.
Right.
Colt was the first one to make it official. He got a lot of mainstream attention, and he put himself out there. Mm-hmm. When there was really no lane to stand in, Colt put himself out there. He went out there on the stage and stood up there, and he sang his song, even though there was nothing to compare it to.
Right.
And so he should always be respected, but by anyone in this lane.
Oh, if the country world,
educated, absolutely.
Yeah, the country world in general loved. Like when Colt had his heart attack, like a little over a week ago, we were talking about this before. It was top news. Colt hasn't had a single out in country radio in probably a decade or so.
Right.
But I reported on it. There's been, Whiskey Riff, all the big country blogs and stuff like that.
He's royalty.
Yeah, there's respect in Colt Ford's name in country music just in general. So
he's royalty.
Exactly. So
yes.
But
and I was I won't say front row, but I'm a part of all those people that were on his
like
team.
The beginning
I know all those people, and I'm aware of the story and what he had to do, and the investments and time, the struggle. Is this going to work?
Right.
Is it not going to work? Well, let's go find out. Let's go make it work.
Because the best part about it is he chose country music because he could have become a professional golfer.
And he's really good at golf. Let me tell you what.
He's best friends with Phil Mickelson.
He's really good at golf. And, man, and he's such a kind soul, man, and such a generous person. And one of my first tours when the Tannerite album, the Jones County album with Tannerite and Boondocks and all that came out, Colt took me on tour out west, and then I went back with the Moonshine Bandits, and then after that, I just went out there by myself, all the way across the country and back, and played for 30 people, 70 people, and the next time I played for 80 people, 140, and then I go back and I play for hundreds of people, sell out in Colorado, sell out in Oregon, sell out in Ceres, California, and I just built it up like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
But without that groundwork done by the people before me, and I participated in a way for sure, but we wouldn't have a leg to stand on. We wouldn't have a lane to drive across the country in.
Right. So. Yeah, you'd be, southeast region of the country, almost exclusively.
Which is where I play the least shows.
Right.
Actually.
Shocking, yeah.
Well, it's like when I get home, I play a lot of mud bogs and stuff like that in the South. But like in Georgia, I have at least one big show a year, but they have radius clauses. So it's like you can't play within 150 miles of this show from this date to that date.
Right.
And I get a lot of flack for it. Like, man, you're from Jones County, but you don't play Georgia. And I'm like, yeah, because somebody paid me big bucks to play once and
somewhere
stay away.
Yeah, exactly.
150 miles in every direction is the ocean, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, Georgia is more than 150 miles, but you can't just play Helen, Georgia, or like Bainbridge, Georgia. Like,
might as well just move, somewhere else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, again, it's a pleasure to have you, man. The show that is happening tonight, obviously it was over the weekend, but I'm guaranteeing that it's going to be a banger.
It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, this will be my first time seeing Demun Jones live.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, I will give you everything I got, and I go on first, which I really like because people are coming in. So you're going straight from like maybe some silence or some light house music to Muddy. You know what I mean? I come out, my first single was Muddy.
Yeah.
On the Mud Digger 4 album in 2013.
Oh man, the
July.
Mud Diggers. Yeah, those Mud Diggers albums.
That was my first. Those were my first.
Really?
Yes, my first solo songs. They included me on those collaborative efforts, and so Muddy is probably not my most popular song, but I feel like that was the song that really solidified. Okay, Demun Jones is a solo artist, and he's going to do this, right? So I come out almost. I would not say every show I've ever played. Almost every 99% of the shows I started with Muddy. So that way, that's the first song that people heard of me. And that's the first song the crowd hears from me.
There you go. All right.
Get that out of the way.
Well, Demun, I appreciate you taking some time, man. And it's been a pleasure to spend the last hour and a half with you. And
yeah, man. Thank you.
It's going to be awesome. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, appreciate it. And there you go. Been talking to Demun Jones, doing his thing. And he's going to be doing his thing tonight at Shields Arena. I'm looking forward to it. You saw the show over the weekend. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed just hearing chit chat as well, too.
Yep, absolutely.